Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Mikhail Peters. So this video today is about what my life plan is. And if you thought you were going to get an answer to that question, then this is your cue to stop watching right here because this is another clickbait video. So I'm just going to rant about why I don't have a plan instead. I was trying to be productive. I was also trying to put the baby to sleep, and then she was like, psych, nah, I'm not going to sleep. So I was like, let's just make a video because I think she actually likes making videos with me. As you can see, she's looking around really interested. I don't know what, but for some reason, like, she's kind of chill. Well, she's chill all the time, but she's exceptionally chill when I make videos. Okay, so, and she's looking at my other laptop. Cool. So, why I don't have a plan. Because if I could tell you the number of times in my life in the past that I thought that I knew what was going to happen to my life in the future, I was always wrong. That's why they say hindsight is 20/20. I used to think that once I got into NASA, I was just going to live in Texas and work at NASA for the rest of my life, or maybe I would switch NASA centers and eventually move to Maryland to go work at NASA Goddard Space Flight Center. That's what I used to think I was going to do. Then I went to Kyrgyzstan and studied on a Boren scholarship. So then I thought I was going to work for the US government in the end anyway. Then I got a different job, and then I realized that wasn't really what was going to happen. Then I also went to Finland, and then I didn't realize I would really like Finland. And then I didn't realize that I was going to try to keep one foot in the door with Finland. So when people ask me, is your plan to live in Finland long term? I don't really know the answer to that. In a perfect world, yes, where money is no object, absolutely. However, and as I discuss a lot, and as we all know in the Finnish immigrant community, jobs are a problem in Finland. And unfortunately, people tend to move where there are jobs. This is like, part of life is you need to work and make a living. Most people do, at least, unless you're like a weird trust fund baby, which the disclaimer is that that's not really my situation. Not exactly. No, it's not. So anyway, I don't really have the answer to this because there is no answer, right? Like, if we could all have a crystal ball and know the future, then sure, there would be an answer, but I just don't know. And, I get this question a lot from people like, oh, well, you're like in the US to stay, right? Or like, oh, but you're going to live in Finland in the end, right? Like, you want to be here. And it's like, yes, to both of those, right? Yes and no. Like, this is like the video I made a long time ago where I'm like feeling very non-binary, like not in that sense, but like in the sense that like I don't feel like I'm made up with either of those. And people don't like this ambiguity thing. I think that from traveling a lot, I've gotten pretty comfortable with ambiguity, so I don't know, and sometimes, like, I don't exactly catch what's going on in Russian all the time, so, like, I'll just end up in these situations, I don't really fully know what's going on, and, like, I'm kind of chill with that, and it's probably, like, my life training is just, I am chill with, like, not knowing what's gonna happen all the time. Most people don't like that. They view it as, like, a fear of loss of control. Now, the issue is, at a point, you need to realize, like, you're never actually in control. It's like me and my brother were talking about, like, we don't own our properties. The bank owns our properties. And it's like, it's true. If you stop paying your bills, it's not like you own the thing. It's not like I paid this phone outright and now I own the phone. Like, that's not how a house works. Like, no. So, you don't have control because you don't know what's going to happen. Like, you could die tomorrow, dramatic, but like you could, you birth control, right? It's supposed to control, the fact that you could give birth. Not necessarily, like nothing really is 100% like guaranteed to happen. It's just how life works. And yeah, so I guess what I'm trying to say is I think that acting like I have a plan for the future, I don't think it's logical. Do I have goals and things I would like to see happen and things I would like to achieve? Sure. Can I tell you what those are? Sure. And maybe that would be a better discussion for what's my plan instead of saying I definitively know I want to do this. Yeah, I definitively knew I wanted to like buy property. Was I able to make that happen? Yeah, but that was like a freak accident and like that's probably the real time I believed God existed, man. Let me tell you, because did not know what I was gonna do pretty much the entire pregnancy, where I was gonna live with this baby, and I really try to focus on like how grateful I am now that I have a place to live. So, that was so what's my plan? My plan is to keep having a place to live, if I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, I would love to get Finnish citizenship for the baby. I would love to get Finnish citizenship. I would love to become fluent in Finnish. Am I actively, taking steps towards any of those things right now? Probably like 25% yes, if I'm being honest. What other goals do I have? I would like to be married at some point. Does that mean that's going to happen? No, because I can't marry myself. Like, that depends on another person. Yeah, and this is actually kind of something I explained to a friend where I'm like, I feel like, especially with that, yeah, I feel like ideally I would love to find somebody who's like crazy and also travels a lot, but that's like doesn't seem realistic. Also, here's the other thing you need to keep in mind. Once you have a child, you have to start making sacrifices for your child. Like, I can't be pulling this baby out of school all the time just to travel because I want to do that. That's like not how that works, and that's not stable. Like, kids need stability, and at some point I am going to have to be acting more stable than I've been acting with moving around all the time. And the premise of this channel. Yeah, and that's probably until she's about 5 years old, to be honest, but 5 years is going to go real quick when I'm working and have a baby. Let me tell you. 6 months has already gone quick. Like, look, she's already holding her head up. Like, what the heck? So, yeah, like, there are certain choices you have to make because, yes, baby. So, like, with her going to school, big thing. It's like, yes, I get that it's like anybody can decide to do anything that they want and they can, work hard to like change things and work towards goals, yes. But yeah, like if I'm being honest about like, what's left, like, yeah, I want to finish the PhD. The real discussion I was having the other day was like, my real goal in life is to feel connected to humanity. And this feels very like existential and like, okay. But I think that, now it's probably like I'm getting to a point where I'm like, I don't really feel like worrying about money. Objectively, I don't really have to worry about money. Like, I can cover my bills. Isn't that all we're really asking for? Cool. Would it be nice to have more money? Yes. Do I need more money? Not really, to be honest with you. So that doesn't really like matter. I feel like I want to have like connections with people, and I watched something on YouTube that was talking about how like human connection is actually like, it's not like a choice, it's like an imperative. So yeah, if I talk about like what is my plan, like my plan would be to like, make and maintain connections with people. The easiest way people do this is usually by getting married, because then you're not alone most of the time. I'm not actually alone, I have a child, right? But the hard thing about having a child actually is that they take a lot from you, but they can't really give a lot back to you besides love, which is cute. But that's about it. So yeah, so what's the plan? The point is there is no plan. And I remember the one time I had the roommate who was like, everybody would ask her like, what's your plan after you graduate? She's like, I don't know. I don't have one. And I'm like, how do you not have a plan? I mean, I could tell you what she's doing now, but that's kind of irrelevant. So people make choices based on, what they feel like is advantageous, what's kind of like the best thing that they can get. And I think for me, the best thing I can get is probably, yeah, a U.S. job and a Finnish PhD. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you set goals, you work towards your goals, but there are some goals you don't have control over. You don't have control over whether you get married or not. Nobody does. You can increase your odds by doing this, that, and the other thing. Doesn't mean it's going to happen. No, it doesn't mean that. You can try to like work on yourself and stuff. That could help, but like, again, no guarantee. Like, I think the point at which you realize there are no guarantees in life is kind of the point at which you maybe begin to feel more free, because you stop expecting things. And again, when you stop expecting things, you stop feeling entitled, and when you stop feeling entitled, it's a lot easier to be happy. So maybe that's where I'm at. There is no plan, because that's not the purpose of life. Life is a journey, and the point is, you're supposed to enjoy the ride. I have a stupid book over there with that title. Why is everything stupid? I don't know. But, you're supposed to enjoy the ride, and like, it's not about the destination, it's about the journey to get there. Sounds corny, but like, honestly. So, focusing on gratitude, all the things I've already accomplished in life. Like, when I really reflect on, like, particularly my 20s, right? Because now I'm 30. Like, I lived a good life. You know, I got to work at NASA. I got to go to Kyrgyzstan several times. I became fluent in Russian, like very fluent. You know, it's part of my identity at this point. You know, I got to like live in Finland. I got to make so many friends. I got to travel to so many places, and I got to have a baby, which was cool. And I appreciate all those things a lot. And was that according to plan? Absolutely not. None of that stuff was planned. I didn't think, you know, when I was like 15 that I was going to end up studying Russian in Kyrgyzstan. That's not what I thought was going to happen at all. So, or, you know, when I was a kid, I wanted to be a dentist or all these other things. What else did I want to be? I only remember wanting to be a dentist, and my dad told me not to do it. But yeah, there's never really a plan. I mean, there are certain things like, okay, yeah, I'm going to buy plane tickets, so the plan is to go here during that time. Sure, you have to, like, plan for some stuff, or I'm planning to go to the grocery store, but sometimes things come up, and then you can't, or something gets canceled, and, like, you just don't know. So, yeah, do I have goals with things I'd like to see happen? Yeah. Am I totally, like, opposed and upset if those things aren't going to come to fruition in the future? No, because the thing is, if I had stuck so according to plan, I never would have had any of the opportunities and amazing experiences that I did by taking a bunch of detours to get to where I am now, which is, like, you know, the nice, stable, boring part, which is, like, the, you know, well, it could be stable and boring, but I'm not so much that way. You know, just, like, you live somewhere, and it's the daily grind, and you're just chilling, and you got a routine. I hate that, but, you know, I'm trying to like it. I love novelty and stuff, you know. But I guess I could still find novelty near where I live. I'm trying. I have not figured out how to do that. Trying. Maybe it's like going to new places to eat. Maybe. Yeah. So there is no plan. The plan is to be alive. Yeah, I used to at a point, it's like, what do you want to be when you grow up? I used to say a hobo because I just didn't want to have to worry about anything. And then at one point I started being like alive, and apparently I became a business analyst and PhD student. So that's where we're at now. But yeah, the plan is there's no plan. The plan is see what happens. And you know, do I have things I know I like? Yeah. Do I have places I know I would hate to live? Yeah. Do I have places I know I'd like to live? Yeah. I have all that. I have a lot of information about my preferences, and that may inform what a plan could be, but ultimately there is no long-term plan because I think it's impossible to plan for that long term. Like, you know, I have a mortgage. Does that mean that I'm going to stay in this place forever? Probably not. Maybe. I don't know. Nobody knows. We don't know the future. So, the plan, probably the only plan is to try to be a good mommy for my baby. However, I think that that's going to happen, which is mostly by being present, I think, is the answer to that. So I like to hang out with her, yeah. And take her on lots of baby adventures because it's good for their brain development. Yeah, so I should read to her in Russian now because she's not sleeping anyway, so that's what I like to do. Okay, so that's everything for this video. Then I'm gonna try to make a Russian video, I guess. Okay, well, hopefully that was interesting. Don't know if it was, but yeah, the inspiration came from getting that question like twice in a week, and I was like, you know what? That's a good video topic. So sometimes you just fall into stuff, and then you end up liking it, and then you just stick with it. Sometimes you try stuff, and it doesn't work, and then you go to something else, and that's cool too. So it's okay to not have a plan, and I think that's probably the best way to guarantee a really cool, interesting, adventurous life. Setting goals is one thing. Having a plan, in my opinion, not necessary. What's my plan for her? I don't know. Just hope that she ends up happy and likes her job eventually. That's pretty much it. Yeah, give her a good life. That's probably the only plan, if I'm being honest. Alright, well, I'll keep making these weird videos because for some reason people watch them. I wonder this every day. Thank you to my loyal supporters for your comments, which I do read. They give me ideas for videos, kinda, and I just find it interesting, honestly. So, thanks for engaging. Still got to figure out how to, again, do something more productive with this YouTube channel. But for now, I think I'm trying to get back into it because, I took a break because I was burnt out and negative, and now I'm just kind of vibing with life and appreciating things. So, good place to be in. All right, until my next video. Bye.